guys, it's Genevieve. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing very well, and I hope that you are excited for today's video, which is my contortion stretching routine. All of these stretches can totally be applied to whatever skill level you're at, whether you are a beginner or whether you are at, say, my level or beyond. It's totally good for everyone, and this isn't necessarily like a follow-along routine, but I am sharing this video to show you guys what I do and to give you guys some different stretches that you can try out and see if they improve your flexibility, which I totally promise you they will improve your flexibility. These have totally radically changed my level of flexibility over the past couple years. A lot of these stretches I have picked up through my years of dance training, and then some of these other stretches I have recently picked up during my contortion classes, and I really like them, so I think you guys will love them too. So yeah, that is all I have to say, so let's get on to the video. I just want to say that stretching, a big part of it is holding the stretches until you feel that muscle relax. I typically find that my muscles relax between the 20 to 30 second mark, but if it's something like a split, I will usually hold it for anywhere from a minute to a minute and a half. The first little section of this routine, I'm just going to kind of cut up and time lapse a little bit so that you can see the stretches, but then you can just go at your own pace. You can follow along to the video if you like, but definitely I would recommend kind of pausing and listening to your body as you go through the routine. So yeah, let's get started. That is all of the more semi-basic stretches, and those are ones that have been a constant staple throughout my routine literally since I started dance, so they're the perfect stretches, especially if you're a beginner. There's a lot of noise happening right now. Anyway, so now we are going to start getting into the more uncommon stretches, potentially the ones that basically I have picked up by doing contortion. So this is where the whole contortion part of the routine kind of comes into play. So I am just first going to sadly have to move this wonderful decor out of the way because we actually are going to need a wall for this. Okay, so the first one is to stretch the side of your leg and also kind of your glute. So what you're gonna do is place your kind of ankle area against the block and lay down Am I in shot? And what you're gonna do is just extend your leg up so it's the opposite leg and bring it towards the wall. So you're gonna have a flat foot. This is my bad side. I don't know why I started with my bad side. You can also keep it bent if you need to. And now I'm going to swap to the other side. Always make sure to do both sides no matter what stretch you're doing. This one's a little hard to show with the space that I'm in, so I'm just going to add a couple overlay videos so you can get a better idea of what I'm doing. But I'm going to place my left leg on the block like this, and the goal is to keep your upper body straight with your core engaged, but also gradually take your hip away from the wall. So now I'm going to just stretch up my front leg with a flexed foot, and I'm also continuing to try to keep my hips as square as possible. And just as always, you gotta do the other side. Okay, new angle yet again. I'm now going to do a square split with my foot on this yoga block with my heel against the wall. So what this is doing is that it is basically stretching your hamstring as much as it can. It's very intense, but it is so incredibly effective. So next is just a regular oversplit. This you can really go as intense or as minimal as you want. And also I do want to mention that even if you don't have your regular splits yet, doing oversplits will vastly accelerate the process of getting your regular splits because you're adding more gravity into the equation, so your hips will naturally sink lower. And I also personally like to have most blocks under my front foot, but then I also usually like to have one under my back knee. I just feel like this helps get a deeper stretch. So now that I've done all of my hamstring and hip flexor stretches, I can move on to center and straddle and everything. For this, I'm going to do just a regular open frog position. So basically you're just gonna need 2 yoga blocks, or you can just do it on your yoga mat. Okay, as awkward as this is the stretch. This is open frog. So you're keeping your hips and knees in line on the block. Your feet are just kind of extending behind you, and you're just gonna hold this for as long as you'd like. And now I'm moving on to a straddle stretch. So again, I'm just putting blocks on either side so I can put my feet on them just to increase the stretch. So in this position, if you want to add some side reaches, that is also helpful. It doesn't necessarily stretch your legs, but it does kind of stretch your side, which is also a great stretch, but I'm not going to do that right now. So because we're just focusing on our legs right now, I'm just going to start by reaching straight forward. The goal is to be completely flat on the floor, but just go as far as you can. And this next little thing I do not recommend if you have knee problems, but I'm assuming if you do, you're probably not watching this video. So because I have a dance background and I definitely still consider myself a dancer, I still like to work a little bit on my hyperextension. So in this position, I will also press on the area kind of just above my knee, just to try to close that space in between my leg and the ground. So yeah, yeah, as I said, don't do this if you have knee problems. I don't, so that is why I'm doing it. But especially if you are a dancer, this is going to really help with your lines in literally everything you do, especially in ballet, because especially in ballet, when you're doing things like développés and just everything looks better when you have a little bit of a hyperextension. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but in my experience, this has had no negative effects, so that is why I still like to do it. But anyway, that is that. And the last stretch in this routine is going to be just a regular center split. And just like our other splits, even if you're not totally flat, I still am not even totally flat, it's still super beneficial to do over splits because again, you're adding that extra gravity element, so there's more weight pushing your hips lower into the stretch. But if you're not comfortable putting a lot of weight onto your upper body, you can also put pillows or blocks under your chest so that you can kind of take some of the pressure off of your arms. So those are all of my favorite leg stretches. I really hope that these help you. I remember not even like 5 years ago, I was watching so many of these videos trying to get my splits because that was like my ultimate goal in life, was to just be able to do the splits. And I was watching so many of these videos. So if that is you right now, I promise it's gonna get better. You're gonna get more flexible. And as long as you stay consistent with these stretches, you're gonna see a lot of improvement. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed watching today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. You can tick the bell icon to get notified every time I upload a new video. You can also follow me on Instagram at genevieve.mason, and you can also drop a comment down below if you would like to see more flexibility related videos similar to this one. And with all that being said, I hope you're having a wonderful Soul Sunday, and I will see you next week for a brand new video. Bye!